Hey everyone, welcome to Shuffle Dance tutorial number 2. The first one I covered the very basics of shuffling, running man and T-step. I won't go over that again here. Orgasmicpathways.com, choose your pathways. This one is Let's Dance. So let's get started. So the first video, if you don't know running man and T-step, I recommend watching that video, otherwise you'll be lost on this one, because this uses T-stepping and variations of running man, and I'm going to show you how to use them in your freestyling as you get more comfortable with them and more used to them. I'm also going to show you how to do this to music, and we're going to speed up the tempo, starting slowly, going faster. And at the end of this video, I am going to show you a neat little spin you can incorporate with this. It's actually not difficult to do at all once you get this rocking thing down, and that's what we are doing today, is a thing called rocking that's going to use T-stepping and variations of running man. So here's what it looks like first, and then I'm going to break it down, and I will give you front views as well as back views, because I don't want you getting mixed up between left and right. This is my left, this is my right, left, right, and it's so much easier to learn that way when instructors show both views. I'm 100% sure you will agree with me on that. All right, so here's what rocking looks like. I'm going to show you two different variations, a simplified version and then a little bit more complicated one, but they're both really easy once you get them. It took me a few days to start to get this, and maybe another week or so to get comfortable doing this so I could do a video like this. So here's one version, one variation of rocking. It's a 3-count, and then I'm going to show you a 4-count one. So this 3-count one goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1, 2 and 3. So you see I'm traveling left and right, or right and left, depending on which one I'm starting with first. But you're going side to side, and it's kind of a rocking motion. Maybe that's where it gets its name from, I guess. I don't know. But that is the simple version of it, and as you can see, you start in perch, right leg is up, this is my right. I'm just tapping with this foot, this side, and then I cross the body to the other side. And then I'm doing a running man, one running man in between them. So this side, then running man, this side, then running man, and I switch. So let me turn around. Now do this with me. So right, so I'm picking my right leg up first, the perch position. My right ankle is in alignment with my left knee. And I'm going to tap on this side, then cross my body, tap in front on this side. And then I'm going to do a running man, and I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. Left, and then right. And then another running man. And another running man. And you got it. So that's how that's going to go. Now, while I'm tapping, we got that thing down, that's pretty simple. This leg here is either going to be T-stepping or it's going to be hopping or bouncing. So here's the T-step. Then the other side. And we go back and forth that way. So try that with me, just get this motion down. And the other side. Okay, good. So now we've got this down on both sides, and we've got this down. Now we're going to combine the two. Ready? Now do the other side. 1 and 2 and. Now let's do the other side. 1 and 2 and. Now the other side. 1 and 2 and. Okay, now we're going to add the running man for the 3rd count. So that's basically going to be this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So this way, you can do it continuously instead of pausing, like those other examples before adding the running man. There was a little pause to sort of regroup and just focus on that one thing. But now that we got that down, we're going to mix the running man in there with it so that it's one fluent thing that we're doing that just flows so beautifully. So for review, here's what it looks like. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and and 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and that's it. Throw another kick in there if you want to, I don't know. Take a bow, whatever. Why not? Okay. So now we're going to do that a little bit faster. We got that in slow-mo on a 3 count. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and very good. We're going to do that again. I'm going to turn around so that you can follow me. Spin because I love spinning. All right, this video will include one spin at the end. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and, I'm sorry, start all over. I'm having a hard time counting right now. But 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. That's fun. I started skipping some of the counts there, the end parts, because if you haven't noticed, this is a great cardio workout. I'm in great shape, and this is an awesome workout for me. I love it. Okay, so now that we got that down, I'm going to show you the full rocking version, a 4 count, and it flows beautifully. Now this one doesn't have Running Man in it, but there's no reason you can't add it whenever you want to when you're freestyling, and I will show you how to do that like I was showing you in the first video. Anytime your foot is up, whatever foot is up, and you want to go into T-stepping, same thing applies to rocking because it kind of starts with a T-step anyway. So if you're doing Running Man, your foot is up, well, you can start T-stepping or rocking that way, it doesn't matter. Same thing with if it's this left leg that's up, that's the direction you're going to go if you decide to start T-stepping or rocking at that moment. So let's do this 4 count thing. So the front view, I'll just do it for you and then I'll break it down and I'll turn around so you can see and follow along. So it's going to be this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to turn around and show you the back view. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm going to show you a breakdown. This one took me a while. The 3 count for me was easier. The 4 count, that's what took me a week or two to just get it down to where I started feeling comfortable with it. But it has to be a daily practice, really. Even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, in fact, that's usually the best because then it's not overload. And what you do in 5 or 10 minutes, if you do that every day, your brain will adapt to it probably much more quickly than spending all day on it for one day. So 5-10 minutes a day for 1 week, see where you are with this. You'll be amazed at the neurological adaptation that takes place to be able to do this fluently and to feel comfortable with it to where it becomes really fun to do with music. So here's what it looks like from a back view so that you can follow me. So I'm going to start with my right leg up and perch. Ready? The first count. So 1, basically the bottom end of a Running Man, kind of facing a diagonal direction this way. And every time I switch sides, my body switches its direction as well. So that's the first count. 1 and is when you come back up into perch. So we got 1 and then we're going to tap 2 and 3 and 4 and then we start all over. So with just the tapping leg, we're just going to focus on that. This is 1 2, 3, cross the body, 4, and 1, other leg, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. On the 2, I'm adding a little variation here. You can use your toes, you can tap with your heels or your toes. I'm tapping with the heel on the 2. The rest of them I'm tapping with my toes. And when you're freestyling it and you get comfortable, you can mix and match that any way you want. So I'm just showing you different variations to give that example. But in this one, it's toe, heel, toe, toe, and then switch. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you got that. The other leg, same thing as before. It's just T-stepping or it's hopping or bouncing. I like T-stepping it. It's more fun for me. I've seen amazing shufflers do it either way. And that's just basically 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 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 so that's what you're doing with that. Now let's combine the two. And I'm going to show you the one spot that I really had a hard time with making this work. So if I point that out, it'll probably help you a lot too, so you know what to work on. Okay, so with the counting, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so that's the trouble spot. When you go from 4 and 1 and you're doing a double stop with your running man basically. So it's this, 4 and 1 and on both sides that happens. So we're doing the 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and see that double spot on 4 and 1 and for a while I didn't realize that was really tripping me up, but one of the teachers I looked towards pointed that out to me eventually through video, and I was like, oh, okay, that's what's tripping me up. So I started focusing on that and I was able to eventually move past that through more practice. So let's try it again, slow motion with the counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right, so you do that as long as you need to, as slowly as you need to really get that down. I actually think it's more difficult doing it slowly now that I've got it, but when you're first starting out, you gotta make those neurological adaptations, get it down mechanically and functionally, and then you'll be able to go faster. But once you get used to it and you're able to do it fast and comfortable and it becomes fun, then slowing down is actually becomes more difficult. It's kind of weird how that works, but the brain is an interesting thing, isn't it? So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to speed it up a little bit, and then we're going to start to add music, which is going to be really fun, and I'll start slow at 90 beats a minute when I add that. So let's get set. Into position, as they say. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, now I'm going to face you. Do it a smudge faster, and then we go to the computer here, which just fell asleep on me. It's waking up now. Forward view. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And of course a little curtsy, right? The other side curtsy. All right. Now let's start to add some music. 90 beats a minute. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. I like spinning a lot, can you tell? Let's move on. Now we're going to do 100 beats a minute. 100 BPM. We can do this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and. On to the next 110. Who's still with me? Comment. I'd love to hear your comments. Comment with how far you make this. Do you keep solid form on 100 beats a minute? Do you make it to 110? Do you fall out at 120? I'd love to hear. Catch my breath. All of us catch our breath. 110 beats a minute. Ready? After 8 counts, we'll start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Yeah. Doing okay? High 5. High 10. Now we're going to do 120 beats per minute. So this is the industry standard. I don't know if they want to be called an industry, but the general consensus with shufflers is you should be able to work up to being able to do a minimum of 120 beats a minute. So this is it, 120 beats a minute. Let's go. I'm sweating. I hope you are too. After 8 counts, we will go together. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Yes. How'd you do? 120 beat. Let's go for 130. Why not? Fantastic. So, if you find you can't do this tempo, half time it for now. Half timing it is going to look like this, and then I'll do full time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So you're cutting out the and doing it at half the time. Okay? So now we're going to bring it back. Just do that version if you have to for now if you're still trying to get it. But if you got it and you're feeling good, let's do 130, which is 10 above the minimum for industry standard. Now with shuffling, there's no such thing as too fast. There's songs that are way beyond 130 beats per minute. So without further ado, after 8 counts, ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Started to lose it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Getting a bit sloppy there, but I had it for a while. That's pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to give you an example of how to do what we just did, the 4 count, with mixing some Running Man in there. And then I'm going to show you that spin. And then we're going to turn the music back on at that point, and we're going to, freestyle it with everything that we've learned so far. Running Man, T-stepping, rocking variations of Running Man and T-stepping, as well as throw a spin in there if you'd like. But here's the spin. So we got the rocking thing, right? 1 and 2 and 3, and on the 4, since we got this momentum anyway, check this out. Pretty cool, hey? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Or you could count it 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and Running Man 4 and. See how I just mixed that in there? So I did rocking, spinning, and Running Man all in the same kind of sequence there. So I'll do that again. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay, so 3 and 4 and. Maybe I turn my Running Man forward again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. This leg is up. Maybe I do a rock from here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Maybe from here I just do Running Man, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Maybe from here I do another rocking, 1 and 2 and 3 and going into another spin, 4 and 1 and 2 and Running Man, 3 and 4. So those are some examples. As you get comfortable with this, you can start freestyling it. So now let's turn on some music and see what happens. We'll start at 100 beats a minute. The goal, at least for me, probably for you too, is to get this down so well into your subconscious, those neurological adaptations, to where you don't have to think about it anymore. You can just feel and move with that. But to get there, especially for me, it takes a lot of work on the functionality of it and the brain chemistry to make those adaptations so that I can get to a point where I can just turn my brain off and just feel the music and improv. All right, 100 beats a minute. Just freestyle it, and don't wait for me to start. You get started whenever you want to. Do a count in your head like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then just do your thing. And we'll stay here for, I don't know, maybe a minute, and then we'll move on to 110, and then the industry standard, 120. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and very good. At the end there, I did a move I haven't shown you yet, but that's coming in a future video, I promise. Now we're going to move it to 110. Okay, freestyle it based on everything we've learned so far. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and excellent, 120, let's go. All right. $120. Freestyle it. Let's see what happens, okay? If you can freestyle at this speed, you're doing, well, the consensus with pro shufflers believing you should be able to work up to a minimum of 120. So let's do it. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and all right. That is fun. And that pretty much concludes today's class. Drop your comments. Let me know how well you did, what BPM, beats per minute, you were able to keep up with. Let me know what you like most as far as teaching style, if it's helpful to you that I show a front view as well as a back view. And I'm always open to making these better, the teaching methods, so that you get the most out of this and you can learn as efficiently as possible, because this dance is a literal happy dance, especially when you start to feel it and it becomes less thought and more feel as you get more comfortable with it from practice. It is a literal happy dance. Even just watching it just makes me happy. So looking forward to the next video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. That enables me to keep making content for free, where I never have to charge you anything, just by subscribing to me on YouTube. So help me out a lot by subscribing to me on YouTube and commenting on the videos there on YouTube. And that way YouTube will continue to pay me something and I never have to charge you anything. I just think that's so freaking cool that it's set up that way. And turn this into a full workout. Do this for an hour. See how many cardio calories you burn. It's incredible. I'm in great shape, and just from that, I'm sweating. It's pretty cool. So love to you all. And my next shuffle video, specifically shuffling instructional type video, I don't know, probably a week or so. And I will have another one as I learn and become more fluent with new things that I can share with you. Bye for now. Mwah. Thank you, everyone.